Hey, what's up? This is Tap with POAPathon, and we're about to throw.
Impressed with the level of artistry that we have just in within POAPathon. Like the artists are amazing.
We've
These are
decided to
incredible.
host a 24-hour event. It is going to run continuous around the world.
Y'all like, share, subscribe. Send this out to everybody y'all know. This is episode 0, but we here. Groundbreaking.
Let's go.
We are live. What's up, friends and fam?
Hello, POAPathon live peeps and YouTube. Welcome. Hi, everybody. Welcome to POAPathon Live. Today, we've got myself, Valerie, aka The Dizzle. We've got Beast the Don. Crypto Mom is joining us today. And our special guest is Dr. Matt Rain. Hi, Matt. Hi, everybody. How's everyone doing today?
Great.
I am doing very well. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, awesome. And Crypto Mom, have you joined us before on
I have
POAPathon?
not. This is my first time.
That's awesome. Welcome.
Thank
Cool.
you.
Well, let's get into it. Let's share my screen. Cool. All right. So today is episode 21. We've
21.
also got a special POAP if you stay to the very end. So stay tuned. And thank you to our first official sponsor of POAPathon Live, Balancer DAO. Let's play our awesome video from It's Here, Balancer DAO. VBAL, so VBAL, right? Is that how you say it? Or VBAL? Always makes me feel
Feeling
like
VBAL here.
Yeah.
So Balancer DAO is automated portfolio manager and trading platform. You can find them on Discord or on Twitter at Balancer. We do have sponsorships available. If you'd love to sponsor us, you can sponsor us by hitting us up at our email on poapathon@gmail.com, or feel free to DM us on @poapathon for Twitter. And of course, we've got merch. If you're into something like that, we've got our POAPathon merch. It's available now at ultrasoundmerch.com. Our t-shirts are $40, and you can get the POAPathon Live community shirt or the staff shirt if you want to feel like you're part of the staff and maybe sneak your way into some underground clubs, events. I don't know. Might work.
That's how I got in here.
Exactly, yeah.
And then the riff, we've got our segment, the riff. So what's happening today in the NFT world? Let's see. So first things first, we've got some brands, major brands that have obviously been coming into the Web3 space. Has anyone seen this where Tiffany is releasing their NFTIF collection, and it's exclusive to CryptoPunk holders, and they will get a Tiffany pendant. It is a limited supply. There's 250 of them, but it's a whopping 30 ETH.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. How do you guys feel about Tiffany being super exclusive to just like the CryptoPunks, and how high that mint is?
This is wild. I didn't realize when we were discussing it before broadcast, I didn't realize it was CryptoPunks exclusive.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So they're already, excluding anyone else, as far as I know. So I don't know if anyone knows, drop in the comments to correct me. But yeah, I believe it's just to the CryptoPunk holders. I don't know if there's also like a mint pass from, Tiffany, but clearly their target market is those CryptoPunks. And it's interesting, does every CryptoPunk holder have that capital, those funds?
That's what a interesting time. I mean, we're in kind of a bear market. It's come back a a little bit, but it's like that would be a hard sell even if I was just aped in.
Right. And then of course we've got another big brand where they just announced that they're now accepting ApeCoin payments at their Gucci boutiques here in the US, which is another big step for the Bored Ape Yacht Club, ecosystem. And I don't know, has anyone checked the charts of ApeCoin? Has it gone up? Has it done anything that Gucci has released this? I was actually thinking about buying some ApeCoin, to be honest, right before this announcement. So yeah.
I would check out. It might be pretty high now. I don't know. That's a big announcement.
Yeah.
Yuga Labs is really trying to min max the space.
Yeah.
Manufacturing value.
Yeah, sure.
Seriously, that's what all this scarcity and exclusivity is. They're making it.
Yeah, but I think. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say it's interesting to see like now like they're actually releasing like I guess this could be considered like utility, right? With a coin. I feel like okay, now you have access to purchase Gucci products with a cryptocurrency, ApeCoin. And everyone had been kind of like curious, what is ApeCoin going to do for their ecosystem? And another cool thing is like, even if you don't have a Bored Ape or if you don't have an other side deed NFT and you're just someone who wants to get in, well, you can just purchase ApeCoin, and who knows, these things happen where now Gucci's accepting ApeCoin.
It's so interesting. I don't know about the timing of all this because like we are in a bear market. And this reminds me that I saw an article like a week back or so because we were off last week. But it was like 3 of the like just ultra premier like watch companies. Like there's a lot of like turnover because all of, like the apes and all the big heads in crypto are like, oh, it's a bear market. How do I, like, and so they were offloading like these nice watches.
Wow.
Like Togs and Rolexes and things like this. So it's interesting times.
It is interesting, and it is interesting with the timing, as you said. Here we are in a bear market, and and things are happening around the world, especially here in the US. We have major inflation, maybe headed towards a recession, and here these big brands are coming in, and
it's like, where were you 6 months ago?
Yeah, where were you? Where were you? And I don't know if this necessarily is a good thing or bad thing. It's like, obviously, I feel like the thing is, these are 2 big brands. So, it gets people more aware of Web3, crypto, and NFTs. But then yet, I don't know, just feels like they feel like they can do anything. And can they? Like where they just feel like they can do a 30 ETH mint, stuff like that.
That's bonkers.
That's bonkers. Well, again, it's like, are they going to be willing to spend that? It's just like a market.
Yeah.
Are they going to accept that?
Yep. Yeah. It's interesting that Gucci chose ApeCoin as their first, crypto payment method.
Right. Yeah, that is interesting too. I think there is something up. And I don't know, like, I don't know if you've heard of a project called 10KTF. But it's a great project, and there's like 16 PFP projects that are involved. So I think World of Women, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Oni Force. So a lot of if you consider quote unquote blue chip projects are involved in 10KTF. And one of the things that they released to some of the holders is they could have minted a Gucci Grail Pass. So they've had some partnership with Gucci and some announcements that Guy Osiri, founder of Bored Ape Yacht Club, has an in with 10KTF and Gucci. So I feel like there's something going on here and perhaps why they chose ApeCoin as their first payment.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. Something's happening. Something's brewing.
Yeah.
So,
You
yeah.
love to see it, you know. We're here every day in the space, so it's kind of cool to see people
Market has
slowly
slowed down,
onboard.
but it's not dead. I'm just looking
Yeah.
here at if Crypto Slam is to be believed, like $15 million worth of NFTs were traded in the last 24 hours. And yeah, I mean, that's up a little, it's down from yesterday, but it's up over a month. So we're seeing some action. Things are still flowing a little
I
bit.
believe it. I'm still buying, you know, so.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, I was just looking at buying ApeCoin. So yeah, the market is not dead. And I think it's clear that it's here to stay when you see these big brands coming in like this.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, any last words on our riff before we move on to our special guest?
I think we covered a lot.
All right. Well, without further ado, I'd love to introduce Dr. Matt Rain, who is a biochemist and geneticist and has a project called VaxGratitude. Welcome, Matt. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. It's great to see you on your turf.
Yeah,
Great to have you.
Matt and I actually met, what was that, maybe February? We met at San Diego NFT Con. And yeah, we just kind of hit it off. I'm a nerd, I'm a geek, my background is in sports medicine. So anything that has to do with medicine, science, anything like that, piques my interest. So when Matt approached me and told me about VaxGratitude and what he's doing for cancer research and all this, I was like, wow, people need to hear about this, because I feel like a lot of people just think NFTs is just about PFP projects, but there's actually really great stuff that's happening with NFTs and the blockchain. There's a lot of public goods and services, and we don't highlight them enough. So that's why I'm super excited to have Matt here to spotlight him and the research that he's doing. So
That's
Matt,
great.
go ahead and
yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then let's get into the project.
Well, thank you for that setup. Yeah, no, I'm happy to do it. And Valerie, to the point you just made about, not hearing so much about these projects, I think to a huge extent, we're at a moment where we're just watching these things take shape. We're at the beginning here. So the things that we'll be hearing about are all just kind of, blossoming right now. Yeah, so my story's a little funky. It's kind of the integration of three different shreds that all come together on one focused path, more or less. So as you mentioned, I'm a molecular geneticist and I'm also an artist. And throughout my adult life, I've had a string of way too many loved ones who got tangled up with cancer. It's crazy. Adult cancer, childhood cancer, and some of my kid friends, breast cancer, bone cancer, just way too much cancer. So the threads that come together here in this story essentially are science, art, and cancer. As a scientist for a whole bunch of years, I'd go to work, I'd focus 2 or 3 projects at a time, like all of us do, kind of keep my head down and jam on this thing or that. And then at one point in my work life, things changed in ways that completely changed my perspective on all of that. I fell into a consulting role where I was flying around the world and meeting with many scientists who were basically working on many different problems and projects in countries all over the place. And, essentially this just gave me an opportunity to zoom out a little bit, get my face out of the 2 or 3 trees that were filling my field of view, and kind of begin to see the broader forest of global biomedical research stuff. And wherever I traveled at the end of a long week, you know how this goes, working with different people from different institutions. I had this little shtick where on the last night of any visit, I'd inevitably go out to dinner with my host, and we would break bread and open beer, and I'd go out to dinner with these hosts, and I'd always just say, hey, I'm going back to the mothership tomorrow, the company that I work for. We really want to support your scientific work. What would be the top 3 things that we could do for you to make your lab more productive and your research move faster?
Mhm.
And, you know, people would kind of think hard and scratch their chin and list out their 3 most urgent unresolved problems. And it didn't, even I could begin to recognize a pattern in these responses very quickly. Everybody had a different number 3 request in that top 3, but everywhere I went, just about everybody I spoke to had the same number 2 biggest challenge and the same number 1 most urgent request for tools that they needed to crank up their own speed and efficiency.
Mhm.
So, you know, over these years, I would go back to the company where I was working, and I'd thump on tables and report these urgent requests like I was all important and knowledgeable because I had these great insights from people around the world. And one day I just woke up and realized that years were going by and we just were not getting around to addressing these things that everybody was requesting. So I quit my job and I set out to build those tools that everybody said they needed to move faster in their research.
Wow.
That's great.
So
I would like, we have some topics that we wanted to cover. But the idea, as you were just talking, did you ever see redundancy in the work?
that's a great question. Yeah, there's a lot of redundancy on many different levels. In the tweets that we sent out for this discussion, I mentioned the term DeSci a little bit, decentralized science, you know, which
Mhm.
is, you know, a riff on the notion of decentralized finance and all these various decentralized things.
Yep.
It's really funny. An enormous part of the software that my company is building is geared specifically at redundancy. Redundancy is all over the place.
Mhm.
But one of the most brutal parts is that all these people are looking for biomarkers of all kinds of things. You know, who's sick, how's this sickness different from that sickness, which people will respond well to a treatment, which people might not. And in the course of that work, one of these tangles here is that with modern technology, you can see lots and lots of biochemistry that's happening in a person or whatever.
Mhm.
And you can't identify what the individual molecules are. So there's like a Google search problem stuck in this space. And it's maddening because different labs all around the world have solved the problem of identifying this molecule or that molecule, but there's not a good framework for organizing all that information. And
Mhm.
so this
Sure.
is a case where redundancy is totally tripping us up and getting in our way. So
Mhm.
this is
Yeah.
we didn't prime this question, I promise you, but Beastadon, your question points directly at one of the things that we're doing in our work.
That's
Wow.
awesome. That's awesome.
So you said, you know, you have so many, you know, research coming from all over the globe and it's kind of all over the place. So what is, you first of all, you said there were like 2 major problems that were common around all these researchers. So what were those 2 big urgent problems that everyone needed to be solved?
Yeah, one we just touched. Basically, one of them is a search problem,
Mhm.
and one of them is a ledger problem, which has never been called a ledger problem. And honestly, I never thought of it as a ledger problem until I kind of fell into the
The
blockchain
paradigm.
cryptography space. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, you start to see things a little differently. So let me start with that ledger problem because it's quick and dirty. Um, One of the challenges is that the really powerful, sexy, awesome analytical tools that people are, you know, appreciating and using every day. Nowadays, the really powerful ones make such a river of data that is just so giant that it turns out it doesn't play nicely with a bunch of the old data systems that the world has grown up with.
Mhm.
And particularly in regulated labs where the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, might want to or need to reserve the right to audit your data on any random Tuesday. You have to basically keep your data in a way that lends itself to being sniffed every now and then by the science police, and you have to be able to show that nobody goofed around. I like to say there are systems in place to try to keep honest people honest, And so with these massive oceans of data and all of the many ways that they have to get transformed in, in all the work that people do with them, it has become virtually impossible to guarantee that everything's clean and clear, and we can see every piece in the, who did what with what data. And, we thought of that as something that grew out of a lab notebook a lab notebook problem. But when you walk in with crypto eyes, you start to see this is fundamentally a ledger problem. And so you can imagine how, that's a pretty straightforward thing. When we started to work on that, it turned out that some of these sort of modern technologies can be combined with artificial intelligence in ways that actually brought superpowers into the game that address some other absolute holy grail problems. And the biggest holy grail problem is the one I mentioned briefly with the search thing. People can look at 100,000 compounds at a time in your blood or your cerebrospinal fluid or your urine or whatever it might be, and they can see these exquisite, remarkable patterns of how this person is different from that person. And oh, look at this guy appears to have eaten a carrot last night. But it's really, really hard to tell what all of these or each of these 100,000 things is. And this has been driving people crazy. We've built some very powerful, elegant technology to address that problem.
Wow.
That's impressive.
That is impressive. So essentially then you're using the blockchain, since people know as the blockchain as its own ledger database where you can go in, things are transparent, anyone can go see. So are you saying that you're putting hopefully this research that's been taken from all over the world, putting it on the blockchain so the FDA or whoever can go in and check it out, the research, audit it if they need to?
Yeah, you have you're thinking about it just right, but I have to hasten to add, and depending on who will ever find this video, in a lot of this space, there are kind of these two parallel universes. Academia is a massive worldwide community of people of a remarkable goodwill who want to share, and they want to look at data that other people are sharing. And so there's this piece really feeds into the decentralized aspect really powerfully. There are ways to take all that data, make it accessible to people, and searchable and transactable. But my setup here was that I want to emphasize there are other organizations that really play a very important role in the ecosystem, like pharmaceutical companies. And they want to make sure that they can protect and preserve and keep some of their data secret. So one of the superpowers that we've got going on is we basically have a network of individual little ecosystems. You can put a bubble around a pharmaceutical company, for example, and make sure that they're comfortable and confident and certain that all of their data will be protected forever. But then those folks who want to play out in the open get to do that and benefit from each other's insights and hard work.
Wow, that's very cool. And so, I was a college student myself, and I know to access research, oftentimes, the schools, the education system has to pay for these medical journals, these databases to be used. So it's not just free where you can go and Google it. Either yourself as an individual has to pay for a subscription, or you have to be part of a school or an education program where they allow you to have access if you have like a student account.
Yep.
So that's a really cool concept where perhaps now, it's not as token gated, if you will, in the Web 2 sense, where now you have decentralized research for, all these science things that are happening in the space. So that is really cool. And I think that's something that's needed to help grow and solve problems as far as, diseases or cancer. And it's almost like when you think of code, right? Like with code can be open source and people can solve problems that, users are having when using, tools on the internet. So
yeah, absolutely. Can I riff on that a little bit?
Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, the story you tell is a super powerful one, and a bunch of us we've come to take for granted the extent to which our lives, just the flow of information has allowed us to just move faster. on many, many things that we do. And certainly that is also true in the scientific space. There are just these couple random little bottlenecks that are still holding some things up. The other piece that you touched on there was, there is a financial component to these things. So your university might be the person or the entity that holds the subscription for all the students. The part of the trick is that there is value in this. If the tools really are allowing everybody to move faster than they would have moved otherwise, there's value. And then all the questions come up, well, who's paying what and who's getting paid? In this new sort of DAO, NFT, blockchain universe, we are moving toward models where some of it's funny, in DAOs right now, there's this massive movement toward data DAOs. And if you listen to those guys, they're all talking about, well, how do we incent people to share more data? If we pay them, will they participate? And for a little while, I was totally confused in these conversations, because in the science world, mostly everybody just wants to share. They're not waiting for an incentive. They're looking for a way to get it done.
Right.
Incredible goodwill. But to your point, Valerie, about value, there is value in all of this. And so one of the things we're looking at is basically trying to figure out ways to capture some of that value and then plow it back into the research and the science to create, internships and grants for researchers and all of the things that are going to incent these people, hopefully, that are not running around looking for breadcrumbs. They want to make the work happen faster.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, let's actually get into your project.
I want to say one thing before we get into the really cool art aspect of it. I think that like the blockchain and like Web3 is like really conducive for sharing, medical research and whatnot, especially when you have like something like, one patient can be like a hash, like, so it's anonymized as well, right? Do you see kind of that same incentive there, or?
Yeah, there's a lot of potential for that. So the stuff that we're focused on right now is more way down in the weeds of analytical chemistry. Right now, if you go get a blood test, your physician might order 20 or 30 or 50 compounds to be measured. And they do that because it's useful. They learn important things from that.
Yeah.
But in the last few years or last decade, we've come to understand there are like 100,000 things and more than that that you could measure. We're just not measuring because, long stories, of course, but it's just so complicated. So part of what we're doing is trying to untangle all of that mess and allow people to just see more truth in biology.
Wow.
Great.
That's amazing.
Let's talk about the project, Valerie.
Yeah, let's talk about it, because we've got Matt with his cool background, and I expect
people are probably wondering what that is.
Project. Yeah. So did you want to, should we take a look at your website, Matt? Do you want to go into that right now?
Yeah, do you want to pull it up?
Yeah, let's do
So while you're doing that, I don't click anything different based on what I'm asking you here, but I have to ask, did you guys see the mic check tweet that I put out last night?
I did.
I was a little punchy. It was very late at night, and I just had this idea to sit in front of this giant clear touchscreen panel, which is just a lot of fun. And in my sleepy stupor, I basically said, "This ain't no party. This ain't no disco."
I did see that you posted that up, because it looks like we're at a party, like a disco, a nightclub.
Yeah, and I think there is one frame on the HTML video here, which is just a giant crowd, right?
Yeah.
This one here, right?
Yep. The giant crowd piece is my nod to the piece of the art that is a flash mob. So I'll explain that if you guys want, but there are a whole bunch of individual art pieces, these molecules, these spike proteins here that you see. And at the end of the project, what we're hoping to do is basically create I like to say, phantasmagorical light show, where all of the 10,000 individual, very colorful spike proteins will come back together in a light show. And we're hoping to show it at various places around the world. One of my fantasies is to show this light show in Times Square. And we've kind of come at this backwards, but starting at the end here, um, it blows me away that the and I don't want to poke anybody's politics. This isn't about that. We started this project before there were vaccines for COVID, and certainly before they became politicized in any way. And whatever you think about all that stuff, it's hard to deny that vaccine scientists pulled some remarkable miracles out of a hat, even though they had been working on this problem for more than a decade. All of that decade's worth of work really put us in a perfect position to move quickly here with trying to help out with this global pandemic.
Now, you would consider what mRNA, right? I mean, that's been in the works for 40 years, right?
Right. There are a lot of ways to make vaccines. There just are. There are a lot of ways to make vaccines. And this one was, this was the first big rollout of a relatively new technology. But like you say, Beastadon, thankfully for us, people had been working on that concept for a really long time. And this is why we were able to drop in the sequence for the spike protein, which is the molecule you're looking at here, and just bang it out, because it's a fundamentally very adaptable mRNA technology is just super adaptable.
That's great.
But I want to just add one little piece to that thread we were pushing on there. The vaccine scientists pulled some miracles. It's some people say it's one of the greatest achievements in the last century. But the souls who volunteered for the clinical trials when those vaccines started to materialize, we don't think about those guys. And there was a moment where none of us really knew how safe or risky it was to sign up for those clinical trials. And I personally don't hear a lot of thanks to those people, or the the nurses and the docs and all the medical pros who have really carried an enormous weight. So the light show that I mentioned, and the reason this project is called VaxGratitude is that the light show is meant to be a thank you, an expression of thanks to all of those people who did a remarkable thing here, and the people who vaccinated, because whether you're vaccinated or not, you're walking around in a society that is collectively benefiting from the 75% vaccination rate that the community has given us.
You're absolutely right.
I love that, the gratitude, having so much gratitude, that we're able to be here, as you said, and just continue to live our lives despite a pandemic and despite all other diseases that are around, and it's just giving thanks to researchers and all the people behind the scenes that we don't really think about.
Valerie, you just reminded me of something that I was totally not thinking of here. There was a moment in this project where we were basically rebranding a little bit. And literally, I was sending you a tweet, and something made me put in hashtag VaxGratitude in that super random moment. And that was the moment where this kind of, obviously the concept was all there, but this phrase came into my mind literally while I was reaching out to you.
Wow. So I was kind of indirectly a part of the name brand.
You're the muse. You're the muse.
Very cool story. So yeah, let's get into it. So tell us, is it minting now? And what happens when you're minting one of these molecules? Like, tell us a bit, like, are these somebody's protein molecules? Is it yours? Do you know who, where is this all coming from?
Yep. Yeah, so that molecule is the spike protein from the SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus. And connecting these dots here, Beastadon, to some things you said. If a person chooses to vaccinate, essentially what happens is they take this spike protein into their body one way or another. The commonest way, and the way we have found to be safest and most efficacious, is through the mRNA thing. So basically, a doctor will inject a little bit of mRNA for this protein. It encodes this protein that's just how biology works. And then the cells in your the cells in your muscles basically will take that mRNA, read it out, and make this protein.
Such a wild process.
It's a wild process.
You're giving it a blueprint, right?
What you inject is the blueprint, the instructions for manufacture, and your body just does its thing.
So cool.
Yeah. So then this is a 3D model of that protein that gets made. I like to say all dressed up in its Sunday best. These are the tuxedos and ball gowns for that flash mob that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So do
Wild.
the colors have any significance? Like, does that mean anything? Can you tell us?
They
about
totally
that?
do. Yeah. Yeah. The reason we bother to make these 3D models is that they tell us all kinds of stuff. Valerie, would you be willing to click on that 4 thing while I kind of set this up a little bit?
Oh, yes.
The number 4 item in the gallery.
Comes
So there's a little NFT art gallery up there on the top right on the webpage, and it's just a tour through a handful of different colors and shapes of these things. Can you double click on that one?
So cool.
So
wow.
yeah, so there are color codes with 3D models of proteins, and you can do it a whole bunch of different ways. Every protein in the universe is made of 20 different amino acids. So theoretically, you've got 20 color channels you can riff on here, and I like to riff. It's a blast when we get going on these. It's really, really fun.
Yeah.
So it's a painting project where the canvas is the 3D structure of the molecule. We have a little sub series where we've done a bunch of them in red, white, and blue, and that's the reason I asked Valerie to just click on this one. She's zooming in and out as we speak here.
I'm having a lot of fun with this.
They're 3D models, so it's simultaneously kind of museum quality art.
Wow.
And it's a toy that you can put in front of a 5-year-old who's coming to terms with the jab they're about to get. It's all kinds of cool stuff. But I really like these red, white, and blue ones because I personally think there's a massive opportunity for at least some of us to recognize that vaccines can bring us together. When we the text of the page there that Valerie clicked through it says something like, when hurricanes strike, we stand backs together. When neighbors need help, we make time for them. This is an American and global thing where we help each other when we vaccinate. It's not political because it's just fact and science, but
it's like a societal contract, essentially, right?
It's a bit of that. Yeah. Let me see, Valerie, there was a news section there that you scrolled by a moment ago.
Oh.
And again, I wasn't planning to go
News,
here, but
Mm-hmm.
something made me, that Stillbirth. Don't click it. But a study was done last year where it was very clear that pregnant women who are infected by COVID have a quadrupled rate of stillbirth, where their infants die before they're born. So this virus is having, 1 million Americans have died from this virus, and the rate of stillbirth has bumped up specifically from this condition.
Dang.
And I sometimes joke, again, I don't want to trivialize it, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I think it raises a question, how does this factor into a pro-life contemplation? Clearly vaccines protect moms. The people who infected those moms who had the stillbirth are walking around today, they have no idea that they infected those moms. And so we all have a role to play in making a safe community here.
Yeah, absolutely. So if someone were to mint one of these proteins, where does the funds go to? Are you donating these funds, or are you doing it to, it says here, raise funds for an important blockchain informatics project to unstick bottlenecks in analytic biochemistry.
Yeah. So Valerie, you have served up the opportunity here to tie it all together. So the primary goal here is to create that informatics tool that all of those scientists around the world are basically saying, we need this. That is the, I've got to keep my eyes on the prize. That's the project. The whole NFT thing is an attempt to raise money to hire more developers, get more servers running, make that technology powerful and put it in the hands of researchers around the world. So there's a little bit of a disconnect. That technology that we're building will be useful and valuable to people doing any sort of biomedical research. I've got a little bit of a chip on my shoulder about cancer, and so I talk about that. But it's also relevant for vaccine research and making vaccine products and everything else.
Wow, very cool. I think this is obviously very much needed. And I love that you said, this is needed for all different types of biomedical research, not just for COVID vaccines, not just for cancer, but anything else that, you could think of, and that probably we don't even know of what's happening, in the background of, I'm certainly not a researcher or scientist, but I know there are new, diseases that are being discovered all the time, and there's just not enough funding for that. So
Yep.
I love that this is your way to contribute, to help with all of that.
Yeah,
this is fantastic.
It's a neat, so this kind of hauled me into the crypto community farther than I ever expected to go. But the dots really connect in some fun ways. So the fact that blockchain makes the underlying technology powerful in the ways that it's powerful. And then, just this notion of reaching out to the, this is almost a toxic phrase these days, but the crypto community, the community of people of goodwill who are basically the pioneers in this space. I bump into a lot of generosity and interest in art and interest in making the world a better place. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but my hope is that this, the underlying project will maybe even add a little bit of legitimacy and start to build the collection of species transforming technologies that we're going to put in the world over these next few years.
Wild.
So as people mint these, when folks mint these, are they just going to get a random color scheme for their NFT?
Yeah, that's the current plan. So, and the timing is perfect here because Valerie just clicked over to my team page. We've got some very clever Web3 guys with a lot of experience in this space. Actually, I might just mention them since we're looking at the list there.
Go for it.
You see me on the left and Tim in the second little, and you mentioned PFPs earlier. I just have to say, we're making profile pics out of our individual, very colorful spike protein molecules, kind of just for fun.
Yeah.
Tim there is an attorney. He's an entrepreneur. He's one of the first attorneys to publish a peer-reviewed legal article on DAOs and how to make them, work harmoniously with laws in the terrestrial universe. What does it mean to make a DAO? And that's also an LLC or a nonprofit organization or whatever. Aaron is a full stack Web3 developer guy, just a powerful dude, brings a lot to the table. We've got some marketing people. And then the last circle over on the right there is an aggregate of all the people working on the, we call it the MS Orchestra project. This is the project that's building that informatics technology. I have to also say, these are rock and roll fanatics, and these are the guys that I work with to make the color palette algorithms that basically color these proteins the way they are colored. And so these guys are the masterminds at the intersection of art and science.
It's so cool and like kind of so different. And it's great. It's great you found as much resource as you did. I know that a lot of the resources in Web3 are getting pulled in every direction. So
yeah, it's amazing that you actually have a whole team behind you, and that's great to hear. Because I think a lot of people who start their own NFT project, they don't realize the big team that they need. And as you said, you even have marketing, which is huge, right? You can have the best idea here, but where is it going to go if you don't have the right marketing? You're not bringing awareness to the project. So that's awesome that you have a huge team here. That's amazing.
Yeah, and even on its face,
we got a long way to
looks,
go. We got a lot of work to do. Don, I cut you off there. Can you say that
Oh
again?
no, I just said like even on its face, the website looks great. Everything's well laid out, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Thank you for
absolutely.
saying that. So can I riff on that then, Valerie?
Sure.
We really have a lot of work to do in the way of marketing. We're really just getting started in a lot of ways. And so I just would love, while people, if you get this far into this recording or this meeting, if you know somebody who has influence, who has an interest in art and science, we're really working actively to find people who can help us just get the word out. We're at the stage right now of basically building a whitelist for the NFT project. And in a fairly, Bisadan, you mentioned this is kind of unusual. I'm gonna push the envelope there
Mhm.
another click. We recently launched a t-shirt thing as a Genesis project. And yeah, I think there's a slide in there somewhere.
Yes,
Is
yes,
there?
there is.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
great.
might be it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm a geek. I did this because I think molecules are stunning, visually stunning to behold. I just love them.
Absolutely.
Um, the three side by side molecules that you see there are three. It's the same angle on the spike protein, and it's just kind of looking down the top of the molecule. Um, it's beautiful. I put
It
it on
is.
t-shirts because projects that have anything to do with crypto frequently get kind of blacklisted in social media. We actually spun up a second brand, and that is vaccinated.us. And so you might see, it's a little hard to see, but the dude there on the right is wearing a shirt with that top-down view of the molecule. It says vaccinated US.
That's
And we're playing with all these different ideas. I
I
love the
love it.
notion of VaxGratitude. It's kind of fun to, and all the shirts, the grays are a little bit muted. So we're not shouting it. We're not waving it in anybody's face. It's kind of, whispering something that is beautiful.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
it's incredible to see something natural. It's just artistic, like looking at it
Yeah,
yep.
under a microscope or whatever.
really
Yep.
is, especially when you add in the dyes and then you can see all the different colors and
Yeah.
man, it's just like all these molecules, every single atom. It's,
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, before we let you
Yeah.
off, I have a quick question
Mhm.
because we're kind of winding down here. What's up with monkeypox? How's that? Have you followed that at all?
A little bit. A little
A little
bit.
bit, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have co-opted the term "this thing went viral"
Yeah.
in popular culture because viruses are massive forces of nature. I mean, if you think about it, as of whatever it was, December 2019, one human being had ever been infected by SARS-CoV-2. And if the
Wow.
biology and the ecology work out right, you suddenly get, 7 billion people who all have been individually infected by these things. They are
So wild.
nasty.
So
And so
wild.
monkeypox obviously transmits differently, but we're in the process of watching that whole thing play out. Not all viruses are equally viral in that sense in terms of transmission. But yeah, we're learning a lot right now, and it's important that we do. We got to collect
Yeah,
those lessons quickly.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Thank
absolutely.
you so much, Matt.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. So I know you said you wanted to do a giveaway, right? So let me go back to this slide and tell
Oh,
us.
wild.
I see this is a design poll.
It's a
So is
design
there a
poll.
poll going on right now? And how can people vote? Is this voting for the design of the t-shirt? And is this what you're giving away as a t-shirt?
Yes, yes, and yes. So, like minutes before we came on air here, I posted a tweet that more or less looks like this. You'll recognize it. It's got those three designs that you see there up on the top left, and it's a poll. So we're trying to figure out what message or what style resonates best for people. If you go there and you take the poll, you follow this project on Twitter. And what did we say, Valerie? And you also, if you go to the website, you'll see how to join the whitelist. If you do those three things, we will randomly pick 5 of you. And Valerie put me in touch with this what's it called? It's like the Wheel of Fortune. It's
Oh, the name, yeah, the name of Wheels.
the wheel of names, is
The
that
Wheel
it?
of Names,
Wheel
yes.
of names. So we're gonna put all of the names of people who do those three things. Take the poll, follow us, um, and make a comment about the
Wheel of
design
Fortune.
there. We'll grab 3 names and we'll raffle off 5 t-shirts. And just because I can't do anything the easy way, I have to complicate everything. I was telling Valerie, if 2 of those 5 people, if just 2 of those 5 people then tweet photos of themselves wearing the shirts, I'll do it again. I'll get the next 5. And if 2 of those people tweet photos of them wearing shirts, I'll keep doing it until we run out of twosomes who post their photos.
That's
So
awesome.
we mean to have fun here. Yeah, there's the tweet.
Okay,
Yep.
got it.
Are the shirts available for the public to purchase if they want it?
They're totally available right now. Yeah, we're still the website's a little novice or a little juvenile. We're still throwing that website together. It's
Yeah.
under construction, but you'll find it at vaccinated.us. Thank you for asking that, Crypto Mom.
Sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So here's the tweet. Make sure you go give them a follow at VaxGratitude. It's their newest tweet here. So you can go ahead and vote for the design of the t-shirt. And as you said, make sure you go on their website and get on their mint list. Clearly, if you mint this project, you are also contributing to help for research and cancer and all types of diseases. And on top of that, you get really cool art, live art, right? Almost a play on that, right? It's like these
Absolutely.
molecules are absolutely live, they're alive, but it also has that 3D model where you get to see it live as well.
It's beautiful
So,
art, and we're hoping it puts a little thanks out in the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
You'll
love
see
the
in the
fact that
tweet.
you can manipulate it too. You can drag it, increase it,
Yeah,
zoom in. Super cool.
yes.
for sure.
So thank you, Matt. Feel free to keep sticking around here, but we're going to get
Yeah.
into,
Big thanks, Matt. Really appreciate it.
yeah, thank
And
you
we,
so much.
Thank you, guys.
you've been on now. You're part of the family. So feel free at some point if you have an announcement to come back, and we'll get you back on the show, and maybe we can hear about how some of this worked out in the future.
Thanks very much. Peace to Don.
Thank you. Okay. So let's tie down our show here. So as you know, POAPathon is a design service. So you can find us at POAPathon.com. We've got all different types of design services where if you need artwork for your POAPs, if you need an artist for your NFTs, if you need a PFP, maybe a remix on your PFP, we got emojis, videos, logos, social media posts, and more. For anything you need, all your artists, wants and needs. We've got a lot of people in our POAPathon Discord who are ready to compete and put up some amazing designs for you. So head over to POAPathon.com if you need any of those, or if you even got like a great idea, if there's something that you don't see here on the list but you need it, then make sure you reach out to us and we'll do our best to make it happen. And then of course, with these designs, there are bounties. So Crypto Mom, did you want to talk a little bit about this slide?
Sure. Currently, we have 3 bounties right now. So our first one is with Perpex, which is a sub DAO of People DAO. They are looking for a logo design. We're going to have one winner for this contest, and in the first place, one winner will be given $100 UCSD. This one is due tomorrow. So if you haven't submitted, you want to get working on that one and get it in. Second one we have is Afro Piece. This is an African themed logo design is what they're looking for. Again, on this one, we're only going to have one first place winner, and that winner will receive 100 USDC. And this due date is tomorrow also. So we want to get those in quickly. We have Radiant Capital. They are looking for a social media infographic. So pay attention to the difference on that one. This one, we're going to have 2 winners. We'll have a first place at $150 and second place will receive $100. This one is due on August 5th, so a couple more days later. So get those entries in.
Yes, absolutely. So if you are an artist, get in there and go and see and submit for this, and you definitely can win some cash prizes for being the winner.
And I'll say too, it can be intimidating in POAPathon bounties and whatnot. But something that's always blown my mind is like, you may think something's going to win. Like there's no doubt, like that one's definitely going to win. But, sometimes it just doesn't work that way. Like the client wants, not the client, the requester, my corporate speak. The requester has a different idea. They like something, they see something, they like something. So don't be afraid to submit, even if if you have imposter syndrome or something, like just post your work, and also, just get involved with the artist community. There's a lot of help there for artists. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So get in there. Don't feed into the imposter syndrome. And, for sure, you're going to get a no if you don't try, but you got to try.
Yeah, exactly.
If you get a yes, right?
Yep.
So definitely. So now we're getting ready for our POAP. So if this is your first time getting a POAP, and if you want to use your phone, you can also use your laptop, but I suggest phone. But you can go ahead and download the POAP app, or if you're on your computer, your laptop, you can go to poap.xyz. This is what it'll look like. You can go ahead and connect your crypto digital wallet if you have a MetaMask wallet or any other wallet. And even if you don't, even if you're completely new to this ecosystem, you can go ahead and sign up with your email address and connect it to your crypto wallet later. So POAP does have a frequently asked questions page as well, so you can learn more about what is a POAP, how do you even pronounce it, and then let's get into it. So get ready. If you're on your app, you've got the app, you're going to click this plus sign at the bottom right. You're going to click Mint. You'll see 3 options. You'll see secret word, scan QR code, and enter code. And what are we doing, Crypto Mom? We're doing the secret word?
We are going to do secret word, and I will need to say it and spell it out for you guys because it's not written anywhere.
It's not written.
Boy.
So you got to listen.
Pay attention, folks.
You got to pay attention. So I will say capitalization, lowercase, numbers, spaces, no spaces, all matters. So listen carefully, guys. Here is the POAP you'll be receiving today. Take it away, Crypto Mom. What is the secret word?
Okay, so we're going to have 3 words, and each one will have a hyphen, which is just the dash between each word. Okay, so first word is biomedical, one word. We have a capital B. So B, capital B, IOMEDICAL, biomedical. Okay, we've got the hyphen, the dash after that. Next word, research, all lowercase, RESEARCH. We've
Get it
got,
right the first time. This is a big one.
so biomedical dash research with the capital B, and the last word after the dash is all capital NFT. So biomedical dash research dash NFT, all capital NFT.
Ooh, that was a long one. I got it though.
Ooh, get it right. That's what I say. Get it right the first time.
Get those POAP.
Go. Let's
Beautiful
go, guys.
from
Let's go, guys.
VaxGratitude. That's a great art.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for lending to that, Matt. Lending that artwork. It's fantastic.
Happy to learn with you guys. This is my first POAP experience.
Yes.
Great.
So there's only maybe approximately 125 codes. So make sure you get it.
Yeah, mint these out. These will the secret word will expire in about 10 minutes. So you'll want to get those in.
All right.
All right. Well,
Awesome.
how are we doing in the YouTube chat? Is everyone got it? Is everyone all right in the YouTube
Says,
chat?
please say again.
Okay,
Let's
let
see.
me
I think
see
we
if-
can.
You
Can
want
we
me to-
post it? Can we post it?
Here.
Let's just go ahead and post it.
I'll put it here in the chat, in this, make it yellow so you can see
That's
it.
a good plan.
Okay, here it is, guys. Capital B, biomedical dash, all lowercase, research dash, and then all capitals, NFT, guys.
There it is.
Is. Ah!
Claim.
There it is. I'll even blow it up. Make it full screen.
You guys don't kid around.
There it is. So get it.
Did you get it, Matt?
I'm gonna do it as soon as we hang up here. I've never done this before. I should try it.
Yeah.
Start
Do it
downloading
faster
the
than that?
POAP app. Yeah, start downloading the POAP app right now.
Yeah, download it now.
They go
If
pretty quick.
I'm not
They
first
go
in
pretty
line,
quick.
I'm happy for other people to get it.
A true giver there. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in today to POAPathon Live. An extra special thanks to our sponsor, Balancer DAO. Thank you so much for sponsoring our show. And of course, thank you to our production team, Beast of Dawn, POAP Viking, JB Amethyst, Genetics, JO, Prof Worder, Crypto Mom, and our entire community. Thank you so much for being a part of our loving family here. Make sure you join in our Discord, follow our Twitter accounts, and we'll see you next Tuesday. This is the end of the show. Le fin.
Le fin. All right. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. Same
Bye,
bat time,
everybody.
same bat channel. Cheers,
Thanks,
everybody.
guys.
Peace. Bye.